one of our neighbors who takes care of rescue animals. This is where the scary guy and house and hello Mary were, and now is under construction. This is our driveway. This is the Kirby's. Now we are going down the driveway. I do not have a steady cam. Deal with it. Also, it's a very bumpy driveway. Up at this end, there's a seasonal stream that we are walking over the very large gravel that is needed to permit cars to go over it at a time of year, namely this one. And here it tends to calm down a bit. One of the projects for later is getting landscaping cloth and a load of smaller gravel to even all that out and prevent it from being a constancy of blackberry growing up. Editorial snorts from Mary. So the driveway confuses pretty much everybody who comes in because it goes kind of diagonally, obliquely across the property, and so doesn't give you a sense of where you are on the property when you arrive at the main cleared area. So there is no way that this little romp is going to give you a sense of where the property boundaries are or anything. But you know, that's the walk down the driveway. It takes a couple minutes. These are, I believe, beach rose in flower. There's actually a lot of little wildflowers blooming too, besides the dandelions. So, this was cleared last in about 2004, and we have been since re-clearing it. This is the excellently well-built fire pit. It doesn't look that impressive until you walk on it, and it doesn't budge. Here is a mound of firewood, much of which came from that, which Nick and Q toppled last summer, because that is the wellhead, and if it had toppled on the wellhead, there would have been no wellhead. Back in here, this kind of basin is where we are now planting the yurt, so as to leave the field open for other camping. This is the toilet, the shed for tools and necessities. Where there's the composting bin that the necessities eventually go into from the toilet. This is our mulching zone, where we turned a whole lot of alders, the royal we, meaning not me, into a whole lot of mulch. And the royal road up to the forest garden. This is a wax myrtle for stabilizing the slope and prettiness and good smells and nitrogen fixing and all that. So, there are a lot of plants in this field now, aside from the grasses and such. Let's hope I can remember them all. There are a couple of butternut trees, which is a kind of walnut. These are seaberry, and that's a monkey puzzle tree, an ancient primordial dragon dinosaur fodder. Biggest dinosaurs that ever lived. Ate them. These wee little twigs are the start of pawpaws. So this is the pawpaw patch, ha. Downslope. The sea berries and the monkey puzzles are joined by all of those mounds of rocks are sprouting a singular raspberry cane. So all the prickly stuff down there, is the idea. Interplanted with that there, for example, is a buffalo berry, which is one of several of the Aleagnus family that have the peculiar property of fixing nitrogen and not being legumes. So that's, that kind of whole slope is serviceberry, another of the nitrogen fixers, honeyberry. Let's see, there's one that's actually looks like something other than a twig right now. Here is a honeyberry, for the record. And then here is the cluster of blueberries that we put in last year, which are doing nicely. And then coming up to the top of the forest garden, let's see, that you can barely see, it's just a little slender thing, is a hazelnut. That there is a native hazelnut that doesn't really do much in the way of production, and so there is a companion of a different type to cross-pollinate. Up here are all the fruit trees. There's apple, cherry, pear, nectarine, peach, medlar, otherwise known as dog arse, not kidding, elderberry, this is a gummy berry, as is that, more of that nitrogen fixing family that I have some of in Somerville. And this little plot right here of 4 plants is the start of the greenhouse. Can't you tell? So that's almond and pomegranate and olive, 2 almonds. That eventually they are hardy enough to survive here, but not to really fruit in the amount of season they get here. And so we will need to build protection for them to actually produce, but they should survive until then. All right, I think that is the plants up here. This is Mary's discovery. It looks spectacular, doesn't it? Oh my God! Oh my God! What it is the place where morels were found. That is now mounded with ash to encourage further production. Back in that general area is where my house, I expect, eventually will go. We'll take some more clearing. And now we're going to go down the lumpy bumpy back way that I have not actually used this year, and so I don't know the state of it, so bear with me. Okay. Q and I hacked this into existence last year. It will, I imagine, eventually receive some better work. But for now, it is a trail that has been blazed. This is a bracken fern, which foodies might know better as the kind that produces what we enjoy as edible fiddleheads. And here we are at the far end of the property, indicated by the presence of a pink flag. The surveyors went all back there and hacked a path through to, find the real boundaries and everything. These are Q's favorite trees here. She calls them the lovers. This is the area that Q and Nick cleared, hoping to establish a labyrinth and, otherwise spiritually meaningful space. And because it is so close to yon boundary, it doesn't look like it will go in that direction. perhaps I will build the starter cordwood cabin in this region. Oh, I meant to be showing off some of the little wildflowers. See if we can find any. One that I've been delighted to find is actually Claytonia, miner's lettuce, which I grow on purpose for eating. There's some of the bleeding hearts here, but not enough to really show off. That snag yesterday did not exist a couple of days ago, and the tree that laid out so conveniently alongside the driveway instead of across it. That is an alder, which is another kind of plant that fixes nitrogen and thereby benefits the plants in its vicinity. So now we are going up the driveway. Up there is the forest garden, where the base of the slope that was fully cleared, and which we have re-cleared part of it to plant, and which eventually the rest will get re-cleared to put in annual beds and, I don't know, maybe a duck pond. To the side down that way, the majority of the property falls off down into a ravine, which makes it unbuildable and often impassable, but we have, not plenty enough to do on the 1 acre that we've got. Here is a better example of the cute little bleeding heart flowers. Down in the ravine, there's a year-round stream, which is mostly too mucky and boggy to enjoy being down near. But we did find a place that is clear enough that perhaps we will create a pleasant little zone down there someday too, in the far, far future. So here we are back at the field. I hope you